Ever feel like you need a cheat sheet to navigate this whole world of natural products?
Yeah.
Today, we are diving deep into Garner's Garden. It's a brand, and they claim to offer this like 100% natural approach to, a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
We are going to unpack their product line. We got a peek behind the curtain with their recent warehouse tour, and we're going to see if they actually, live up to all the hype.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic right now, this whole desire for natural products. We're seeing a huge shift
Hmm.
as like people are becoming more conscious about what they're putting in and on their bodies.
Absolutely. And Garner's Garden seems to be like totally tapping into that whole trend. And they've
Yeah.
got an impressive range of products. It was not just soap and shampoo at that warehouse. They
Right.
got everything from deodorant to baby products to stuff for your pets.
Yeah, what I think is so fascinating here is how they're really focusing on creating entire routines, not just, standalone products.
Okay.
Take their deodorant system, for example.
Hmm.
It's not just a swipe and go. You got a pre-wash, a wash, a post-wash, and then the deodorant.
Okay, I'll be honest. I was intrigued, but I was also a little overwhelmed. 4 steps. For deodorant, what's the method to their madness?
So it could be their way of addressing this concern that a lot of people have with natural deodorants, which is how effective they actually are.
Right.
A lot of traditional deodorants use those harsh chemicals to block the sweat and odor.
Yeah.
Natural alternatives usually have a gentler approach, so this whole multi-step system, this might be Garden's way of making sure their deodorant really works, but without, without all those harsh chemicals.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. If you've ever struggled to find a natural deodorant that actually does what it's supposed to do, this could be like a game changer.
Exactly. Now let's talk ingredients because Garner's Garden is really highlighting their use of things like lavender, comfrey, and even magnesium. That's not your typical drugstore deodorant ingredient.
Yeah, the magnesium one really threw me for a loop. Is that a common thing in natural deodorants? I'll be honest, I've never seen that before.
It's definitely becoming more popular.
Okay.
Magnesium is known for its ability to neutralize odor-causing bacteria, and some people actually find it's gentler on their skin than some of the other natural deodorant ingredients, which again, points to Garner's Garden's commitment to creating something that's not just natural, but potentially a more effective formulation.
So they're not just jumping on this natural bandwagon, they're putting thought into the science behind it.
Precisely.
I like that.
And this attention to detail extends to their other product lines as well. For instance, they use babasu oil in their baby shampoo,
Hmm.
which is really great for delicate skin.
Babasu oil, what makes that stand out compared to, say, coconut oil, which is obviously a very popular choice?
That's a great question.
They seem pretty similar, at least at first glance.
You're right. They're both plant-based oils, and they've got those moisturizing properties.
Yeah.
But babasu oil is often favored for sensitive skin because it's less likely to clog pores. So
Interesting.
it's a subtle difference, but it shows that Garner's Garden is really thinking about these little nuances when they're putting together their formulas.
So it's about finding the best ingredient for the job, even if it means going a little off the beaten path. I like that.
And it's not just about these kind of exotic ingredients either. They also incorporate hyaluronic acid. I'm sure you've heard of that,
Oh, yeah,
into some of their skincare products.
of course. Hyaluronic acid is everywhere, and for good reason, but it often comes with a hefty price tag, especially in skincare. So it'll be interesting to see how Garner's Garden's pricing compares to some of these other brands that are using hyaluronic acid.
That's a really key point because Garner's Garden really emphasizes affordability as
Uh-huh.
one of their core values.
Okay.
They want their products to be accessible, which is actually really refreshing to see in the natural products market because premium pricing is often the norm.
That's what really stood out to me. Natural and organic usually means expensive. So, how is Garner's Garden navigating that? Are there any trade-offs?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
Trying to balance affordability with sustainability.
Yeah.
There are always going to be these inherent tensions when you're trying to achieve both,
Right.
especially in the natural products world where sustainable ingredients and ethical sourcing can really jack up the price.
So, how can we,
Hmm.
as consumers, how can we be mindful of that? What questions should we be asking to make sure a company's commitment to affordability isn't coming at a cost to, the planet or the people making these products?
You hit the nail on the head. It's about looking beyond just the price tag
Yeah.
and really digging into a company's practices. Transparency is huge.
Yeah.
Do they openly share information about their supply chain? Do they have certifications? Things that back up their sustainability claims. These are the things that a discerning consumer should really be looking for.
Yeah, it's about holding these companies accountable, even as we, appreciate their efforts to make natural products more accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not about expecting perfection right off the bat,
Right.
but we should look for progress.
Yeah.
Every company has a responsibility to constantly try to improve and be more aware of their impact.
For sure. And as consumers, we actually have a lot of power here.
We do.
The choices we make, the questions we ask, demanding that transparency, it all adds up.
It really does. It drives real change.
Yeah. So with Garner's Garden, it seems like they're ticking a lot of boxes. We've got the diverse product line, the unique formulations, the focus on natural ingredients, and of course, that commitment to affordability. But just like with any other company out there, it's super important to ask those tough questions. Do your research, look for that transparency, and figure out if their values line up with your own.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about being informed and empowered as a consumer.
Okay, so back to Garner's Garden and their warehouse tour.
Right.
They mentioned using oxygen in some of their products, like their soap and even their oral care line.
Interesting.
I gotta admit, that one threw me for a loop. How does that even work?
It's actually really clever chemistry.
Yeah.
It's all about what are called oxygenated ingredients.
Right.
So basically, these ingredients release oxygen when they come into contact with water or, other substances.
So it's like a mini explosion of cleaning power.
Kind of, yeah.
Mhm.
That burst of oxygen helps to break down dirt, bacteria, even those odor-causing molecules. Yeah. It's a natural alternative to those harsh chemicals you see in a lot of conventional cleaning and oral care products.
That makes sense. It goes back to that thing we were talking about before, their thing about being both natural and effective.
Exactly.
But it's not just oxygen, right? I remember them talking about natural oral care and getting away from harsh chemicals.
You're right. Their approach seems to be like multi-pronged.
Okay.
Alongside the oxygenated ingredients, they're probably using things like plant-based antimicrobials and natural abrasives to create oral care products that actually work.
So instead of just relying on one, magic ingredient,
Right.
they're combining all these different natural elements to get the results they want.
Exactly. It's a more holistic way of thinking about oral care.
Which makes you think, do they apply this same kind of thinking to their other product lines? We talked about the deodorant system, but what about their skincare or their hair care?
Well, if their oral care is anything to go by, it's probably safe to say they're taking a similar approach with those products too.
Right.
Like with their skincare, they're probably looking at the whole routine, from cleansing to moisturizing,
Yeah.
making sure those products work well together.
So it's not just about individual products. It's about the entire experience for the customer. They want you to rethink your whole routine.
And this is where their commitment to affordability becomes even more interesting.
Right.
They're making that holistic, natural lifestyle actually doable. It's not just for people with a ton of money to spend.
It's a good message.
It is.
And I bet it really resonates with people who are looking for natural alternatives but maybe thought they couldn't afford them.
Absolutely. By making natural products more accessible, Garner's Garden is kind of shaking things up in the industry. They're challenging the status quo.
It's a bold move, but from what we've seen, it seems like they're up for it.
Yeah.
But let's go back to their thing with the natural ingredients for a sec.
Okay.
We talked about a few, but that warehouse tour, they had a huge variety of stuff.
It was impressive.
Anything else catch your eye?
I was really interested in how they're using essential oils. And not just for fragrance, but for their therapeutic benefits too. Like lavender's great for calming, while tea tree oil is known for its antimicrobial properties.
So they're tapping into aromatherapy as well.
Exactly.
It adds another dimension to their products, It's not just about cleansing or moisturizing. It's a whole sensory experience.
I agree. And that attention to detail, from the ingredients to those routines they're creating, it tells me they really get their target market. They're going after a customer who's informed, who's picky, who wants more than just a product. They want an experience.
And that experience, it goes beyond just what's in the bottle.
Right.
They're trying to build a whole brand that stands for something.
I can see that.
They've got a clear mission, a commitment to being transparent, and they want to make this whole natural living thing attainable for everyone.
Which is great, but it does make you wonder, how does that commitment to affordability impact their environmental footprint? Can they keep their prices low and still prioritize sustainability and ethical sourcing?
Right. It's a tough balance to strike.
It is, yeah. It's a real balancing act. Trying to keep things affordable while being mindful of your impact.
For sure. So how can we be smart about this as consumers?
Right.
What should we be looking for to make sure a company's not just like offering low prices at the expense of like the planet or the people
That's
involved?
the crux of it, right? It's about looking beyond just the surface.
Yeah.
Look beyond the price tag and really dig into a company's practices.
Yeah.
Transparency is key. Do they talk openly about their supply chain?
Right.
Do they have certifications to back up those sustainability claims? Those are the kinds of things a savvy consumer should be looking at.
Yeah, it's about like holding these companies accountable,
Absolutely.
but also, appreciating when they're trying to make things more accessible.
Right. It's a two-way street. And we can't expect perfection from the get-go,
Right.
but progress. Progress is essential.
Yeah.
Every company has a responsibility to constantly try to do better, to be more aware of their impact.
Totally. And the cool thing is, as consumers, we have a say in this.
We really do.
Our choices, the questions we ask, demanding transparency, it all matters.
It all adds up. It pushes things forward.
It does. So, okay, with Garner's Garden, they seem to be doing a lot of things right. Diverse product line, interesting formulations, a real focus on natural ingredients, and of course, that commitment to affordability. But like we've been saying, with any company, you got to ask the hard questions. Do your research, make sure they're being transparent, and then you can decide if their values are a good fit with yours.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
Being an informed consumer, that's where the real power is.
100%. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into Garner's Garden. Hopefully you're walking away not just knowing more about their products, but also with some tools to navigate this whole world of natural living.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly.
Keep learning, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep making conscious choices.
Love it. And on that note, we'll catch you next time. Happy exploring, everyone.